Welcome to the 12th Annual TC Community Cook-Off. Over the years, the Cook-Off has become one of the most popular, enjoyable, and festive occasions for bringing the college community together. It has literally given us a taste of our colleagues' culinary skills and talents, and it's given us time to catch up with one another socially. While we're all disappointed that we can't sample the food this time around, that can't stop us from coming together as a community, both in appreciation of our talented homegrown chefs and in celebration of our diversity and many cultural traditions represented at today's virtual feast. In true TC fashion, we are turning disappointment into a teaching moment that will make for a fun learning experience. Our terrific cooking experts and aficionados will show us how to prepare delicious dishes from all over the country and world. So I want to thank them all for preparing their cooking demonstrations. And of course, I want to thank Janice Robinson, our Vice President for Diversity and Community Affairs, and her team for organizing this year's innovative version of a cherished TC tradition. To everyone, have your utensils, spices, and notebooks ready as Janice sets the stage for this year's Community Cook-Off.
Thank you, President Bailey, for your warm and lovely introduction. This is the TC Community Cook-Off, now in its 12th year, and it is certainly a community favorite. We are typically in person in the Grace Dodge dining room, managing the food lines, watching you queue up all the way down the hall before 2 o'clock, organizing judges, tasting the good food, and watching you fill the room with joyful memories. For obvious reasons, our world has turned inside out since March. As a college community, we have prevailed over the last few months. We have adjusted, and we have learned to engage in innovative ways. In thinking through the transition of this event from an in-person format to a remote platform, our team was responsible for identifying the key goals for this event. We determined the following: to build community, embrace diversity, and to use food and fun as an avenue to achieve those goals. This led us to our guiding theme, celebrating cultural, family, and community traditions. What follows is a composition of video cooking demonstrations from our fellow community members, faculty, staff, students, and alumni. They have invited us into their homes, their kitchens, and introduced us to their loved ones. They are personal, they are thoughtful, and creative. During these uncertain times, we are grateful to be engaged in a community guided by our unifying values, as well as our continuing to look out for one another. Thank you for celebrating cultural, family, and community traditions. Enjoy the videos.
Hello everyone, my name is Katherine AGUERO, and today I have the pleasure of introducing to you the Peruvian dessert alfajor and showing you how you can make it in your own home. Say hi, Genevieve.
Hi.
And we're so excited to have you here. So these are the materials that we're going to be using today. Sugar.
And
we got some eggs. We got some flour. We got some butter that's currently being melted. And we also have some dulce de leche, some vanilla, and we also have some powdered sugar. The reason why this dish is so important to our family is because it is a time for us to eat something sweet as we drink our coffee and talk. First up is 1 cup of sugar. Sugar.
Okay.
We put the melted butter inside of the bowl, or into the bowl I should say, and Genevieve, mix.
So yummy.
Okay, so while Genevieve over there is mixing, we have my sister here, Andrea, and she's grabbing the egg yolk because you have 2 egg yolks for this. And then we pour it in. Ooh, here's the second one. Remember, 2 egg yolks. Mixy, mixy, mixy. Good job mixing, Genevieve. As you can see, it is also a time for us to share and make the recipe as a family. Yeah, and there she is doing another one.
That you pour into that one.
And we're gonna pour it in, so 2 egg yolks and then mix, mix, mix. Okay, and we added 1 more egg entirely. So 2 egg yolks and 1 entire egg. Add just a tiny bit of vanilla. Yeah, vanilla. Let's add it in, Genevieve.
I'm just trying it.
No, put it in a bowl.
I'm trying
We
it.
can try it after we finish. Ooh, good. Put some of that vanilla.
Oh no.
We're all out. Okay, so now you grab some flour and you're gonna pour it in a completely different bowl. So if you see here, we have this bowl that we've worked on so far.
Mommy, I play with the flower.
Ooh, okay. Let's make sure to put it inside the new bowl. So put 1 cup of flour inside the new bowl.
I did too.
And then you're gonna add 2 cups of cornstarch into the bowl. And then we poured in the 2 cups of cornstarch along with the 1 cup of flour. And now we need a teaspoon. It is during this time that we can meet each other in the kitchen and take step away from our everyday hectic lives to come together to make something delicious. The kitchen is it. There we go. Good job, honey. So Genevieve's gonna pour the baking powder, the flour, and the cornstarch solution little by little into. Find a circular object that will allow you to make circles like this. So over here, we put it on 325 for 10 minutes. And here are the alfajores. Here's our friend trying one already. So you're gonna get 1 of these and another one. And you're gonna put dulce de leche in between. And then we're gonna put them together. And there you have it, our Peruvian alfajores. Don't forget to sprinkle some powdered sugar on top. Take care.
The dish I'm gonna share today is jiaonang, which is a traditional Chinese soup dessert. My mom used to make it for me when I had a cold or a bad period. I believe many of you have heard of the Chinese yin-yang theory, which conceptualizes everything as interconnected, complementary, and contradictory. And in terms of health, when the 2 elements are in balance, you're in a good shape. Otherwise, you might feel sick. And the ingredients in the soup are believed to contain a lot of young energy, and that's why it's a good complement for your body when you're having a cold. I personally had good experience with this soup, but I don't know whether it's a pure placebo effect or it actually worked. But it tastes really good. So anyways, let's start.
Today I'm going to share with you a traditional Filipino recipe called chicken adobo. When the Spanish settled in the Philippines during the 16th century, they witnessed this traditional Filipino cooking method and called it adobo, which is the Spanish word for marinade. So the chicken adobo marinade varies from region to region and from cook to cook. This version of chicken adobo, which I'm about to share with you, is a recipe that was passed on to me by my grandmother and mother, and which I have now proudly passed on to my daughter Alessandra. So, what do we need for our chicken adobo? Of course, we need chicken, and the marinade consists of half a cup of soy sauce, half a cup of vinegar, half a cup to 1 cup of water, and for that yummy garlic flavor, we need a lot of garlic. And you can have some ground pepper as well. Brown sugar. And crushed bay leaves. Of course, you can now mix everything in the pot. And let the chicken marinate or stay in the mixture for 30 to 45 minutes. After that, it'll be ready for you to put on the stove. And you can simmer the chicken along with the adobo marinade for another 30 to 45 minutes. And later, my daughter Alessandra and I will show you the finished product.
Thank you for joining us. We're the Diamantis family, where we will cook Greek style and family style. These are my daughters, Emma and Sophie. They'll be helping me today. We're going to be making a traditional Greek salad with a lemon chicken. Over the last few months, we've had a lot of quality time at home, and one of the things that we've enjoyed has been cooking together. So trying to find those traditional recipes that the kids can take part in. So one basic Greek salad, tomatoes, cucumber, onion, Kalamata olives, some feta, and then we season it, olive oil, oregano, and some sea salt. While they're busy doing that, I'm going to get started on the lemon chicken. Squeeze lemon on top. Usually use about 2 or so lemons. Olive oil drizzled on top. Pepper. Salt as well, maybe 2 pinches of salt. And let it marinate. Put some fresh oregano from our garden. Gives it a nice flavor. And that will marinate in the fridge for really a good hour or so. The girls are finishing up their salad. Traditional Greek salad is enjoyed pretty much daily. Luckily, we were able to go to Greece a few years ago and took the kids to see where their grandparents had grown up in the villages. My husband is first generation Greek, and it's been nice to have our children experience that culture and really enjoy the food that goes along with it. They're finishing up. I'm gonna grill the chicken and we'll see you outside. And here's our final Greek meal. We have our lemon chicken that I grilled on medium-high heat for about 35-40 minutes. The olive oil and lemon juice really keep it moist, so try not to overcook it. Our delicious Greek salad made by the girls. The salt brings out the moisture in the tomatoes and makes it perfect to dip fresh bread into the juice. For us, knowing where our family come from creates a story for our family that we can pass down to our children, and it unites us over the meals that we make from our culture. I think that's one of the greatest gifts we can give our children. So we hope you enjoy it. Simple Greek food, family style, from the Diamantis family to your home. Yamas.
Hi, I'm ROCHY, and this is and we're going to be baking today challah, Bubby's challah. It's Friday. It's a tradition in our home on Fridays to bake challah for the Shabbos meal. A little bit about my Bubby. She was one of my biggest role models. She was a Holocaust survivor, and she showed us so much love in everything that she did, and her cooking was exceptional. So what you're going to need is some kosher salt, a bag of flour, 3/4 of a cup of oil, 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 1 ounce of fresh yeast with water, and 4 eggs or 2 eggs. My Bubby used 4 eggs, my mother uses 2 eggs, and I'm going to be using 4 eggs like my Bubby. Okay, so first you put a little salt in here, 2 tablespoons worth of salt, and you scatter it in the bowl. And then on top of that, you put your 5 pounds of flour. Okay? And what you want to do is you want to open it, and you want to make a hole in the center. So kind of like a valley. Goldie, you want to put the sugar inside, in the center? Okay, put all the sugar in. Perfect, sweet sugar. And then what we want to do is we want to crack the eggs. Yep, okay, inside. We're going to start mixing it. Okay, with our hands in the center, we're going to go and we're going to start mixing it and mixing it. Yeah, you want to start? Keep it in the center. We're going to start from the inside and you slowly move out. So first we're going to start with the center. I'm going to have some flour. This is fun, huh? Very dirty. All right, so let's see, how did the challah rise? Oh, it rose so beautifully. You see that? Yes? All right, so we're going to now first separate some challah dough for Hashem. So we're going to separate, we're going to say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'tzivos v'tzivanu lahafresh challah. Amen. So we're going to put this away for Hashem. Everyone wants to make challah? Who wants to break some challah? Okay, so let's go take some of it out. Okay, so now we're going to have fun designing our challahs. So each one of us does a different design. I'm going to make a 4-braided challah and a different design that my Bubby always made. The children love adding some sort of twist to it, so they love using some chocolate spread in their challah. So everyone's going to have fun making their own shape and their own style challah, right? Excited? Okay, so we're going to shape this.
Swedish pancakes for you today. And we're going to start with 3 eggs in the bowl, and we're going to whisk them with a 1/2 cup of milk. I'm using low-fat milk, but you can use regular milk, low-fat milk, 1%, 2% even cream, or 1/2 and 1/2, whatever you have left. And you whisk it until the eggs are all beaten. And it's mixed, and then you dump in a cup of flour, all-purpose flour, and you mix it again, and it's going to be very, very thick when you mix it at this point. You mix it until the flour is all blended in, and then you mix in another 1.5 cups of milk. And Swedish pancakes are very thin pancakes. They're not quite the consistency of crepes, but much closer to crepes than regular pancakes. You mix that in, and then you mix in 6 tablespoons of melted butter. And my tip when you're doing this is melt the butter first and let it cool a little bit so the eggs don't cook when you pour in the melted butter. You don't want scrambled eggs in here. Here's the batter, and then I'm using an electric griddle. You can use a griddle on the stove top, but if you use an electric griddle, it's set to 350 degrees. And the Swedish pancakes, you pour the batter in around 3 inches for diameter. And the grill is lightly greased with butter. You only have to grease it once because there's so much batter in the mix. And you'll let it cook there. And why Swedish pancakes are very important to me is I'm Scandinavian by background and my culture, and this is one of the few Scandinavian foods I really, really enjoy making. This along with my Swedish meatballs. And when I started to explore my Scandinavian heritage, this is something I can make. My mother did not cook, so I didn't learn cooking from her. And one of the things about Swedish pancakes is that we're going to serve them with lingonberries. You never serve Swedish pancakes with maple syrup. I use lingonberries, and you can get lingonberries in IKEA or World Market or Fairway, or a lot of other regular grocery stores cover them. If you don't want lingonberries, any type of tart flavored jam would go well with it, but maple syrup does not work well with it. And then when we're back in the office at TC, if anybody stops by my office, if they want to know, I can tell you a very funny story that is not publishable about our family lore with Swedish pancake mix. So once they're cooked on one side, you turn them over. They don't take long because they're so thin. And they're slightly brown. They don't take long to cook at all. I flip them over while waiting for them just a few more seconds to cook. Okay. So then we serve them up on a plate. You can see the grill is still well greased enough for the next batch. And then here's some lingonberries, and we just serve it with a dollop, and you're all set to go. It's very easy, and enjoy this wonderful taste from Scandinavia.
Hello, my name is ELAINE PERLMAN, and I am the proud director of the Peace Corps Fellows Program at Teachers College. This is my 5th cook-off. I've been teaching at Teachers College for nearly 5 years, and I am so proud and excited to share with you my recipe for my family's plant-based vegan chili. Today I would like to dedicate my presentation to Claudette Chung and Barbara Wilson Brooks, my colleagues back in the Office of Teacher Education. And so I'll be demonstrating pretty soon what's next. I've assembled the ingredients and written down the recipe, so I want to share that with you. This is the chili recipe, and it's really simple. It really is just all-in-one pot kind of recipe. Nice and easy, lots of ingredients, but most of them you probably have in your apartments. And I want to mention that this is an oil-free chili. I've learned how to cook without oil in order to become a bit healthier. And so I'd like to share with you over here the ingredients I have assembled. We have the dried red lentils, the lemon for the lemon juice, tomato paste, crushed red pepper, the cumin, oregano, the garlic cloves, and quinoa, salt, a can of chickpeas. You can go from dried chickpeas if you like as well. Black beans, it's quicker with the can but better with dried. 2 boxes of chopped tomatoes, mixed red peppers that I'm going to chop up fine, shallots as well, black pepper, and the Worcestershire sauce. So I'm going to, in the next step, get them all prepared and put them in the giant pot. So the moment of truth is upon us. I prepared all the ingredients like the magic chef you see on TV cooking shows. And I'd like to explain to you while I'm putting everything into the pot. As I said, everything goes into the pot with one exception, and that is the 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. That will go at the very end. So as I said before, the finely chopped tomatoes, 2 boxes. And while I'm telling this, I'd like to let you know a little bit about my hometown so you can understand how I feel like this chili is a part of my heritage. I grew up in a small town in central Pennsylvania that is not too far away from Gettysburg and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So there are about 16,000 people in my hometown. My hometown was famous because of Dickinson College being there. It's called Challah, Pennsylvania. And my town used to host cook-offs. And my mom would frequently win. She had award-winning meatloaf. And whenever people would ask her, you know, what is it that's so delicious we just can't put our finger on it? She would say, it's a secret recipe. Well, my mom, Judy Pearlman, is now 81 years old, and I'm brave enough to now reveal that her secret recipe was the meatloaf mix that you buy at the grocery store. And with that meatloaf mix, she won many prizes. Today we're not using meatloaf mix, but I did pre-mix the spices. I'm just throwing everything inside, which is kind of fun. And here's the tomato paste. And the last thing I'm going to throw in is the beautiful Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire is actually typically not plant-based, so I buy one. I go to a specialty shop to find one that doesn't have any animal products within it. And the reason is for my health, for the environment, and for animal ethics, for animal welfare. So come on and take a look, see what's in my pot. It's a little bit on the beautiful side, I'd say. And so I'm just going to give it a nice stir, and then at the very end it's going to cook for about 30 minutes. And then I'll check it. The one thing I did not yet add, and I will add, is about 2 cups of water, because the quinoa and the lentils need a lot of liquid to soak up in order to cook properly. Everything else is good to go, and so we'll check in when the chili is ready to be eaten. The chili is boiling, and so now I'm going to turn it down to low and let it cook for about 25-30 minutes. So we've made it, the chili I mean. The chili cooked for about 32 minutes actually. And I think it turned out really well. I've already tasted it in advance. Don't forget the lemon juice at the end. It is truly outstanding. I just want to let you know that there are 3 kinds of legumes inside of this chili: red lentils, chickpeas, and black beans. And just to let you know about the hierarchy of legumes, because they are such an incredibly healthy part of our diet, it provides with all kinds of nutrients. At the top of the hierarchy of health, come lentils, followed by chickpeas, and after that the colorful beans. So black beans being at the top, white beans being at the bottom in terms of nutrients. But all legumes are healthy for us. Americans do not eat enough of them, and so I encourage you to fill up your diet with lots of legumes. So I'm just going to show you how I serve this. My chili goes into the bowl. It's steaming hot, so I'm not going to dig in right away. But I wanted to share with you that I made an avocado salsa to add on the top. It's simply 1 avocado, 2 small tomatoes, cilantro, which is super healthy, salt, pepper, and some more lemon juice. And that is it. So bon appetit, and thank you for inviting me to again participate in this beautiful Teachers College tradition.
Hello, my TC family. First and foremost, I would like to start by saying I hope you are all well and I miss you all. Today, I'm sharing one of my favorite dish of my culture. Its name is molleja y guineo en escabeche, pickled green bananas and chicken gizzards. Okay, so first you will have to wash your chicken gizzards, and you see this little yellow skin, that's bitter. You have to remove it. If you don't remove it, it will make the chicken gizzards bitter and not let it get tender. Now this process is optional. You could put them to cook like that, to boil, so it could get tender. I prefer to cut it, and it helps for it to get tender faster. Okay, so I put water in the pot with the chicken gizzards, and now I'm gonna put the Puerto Rican secret ingredients. You cannot cook without this. So frito. 2 spoons. Then get a dab of vinegar. And I put adobo. Some oregano. Some garlic powder. Some sazon with achote. And a little bit of salt. And we just let it boil until it gets. Now for the green bananas, we're gonna cut the tips off and then do a slice across, and then you just put it to boil with a little bit of salt. Okay, now we have some red peppers, green peppers, and onions diced up, and we are going to let it simmer with a little bit of vinegar and enough oil, because this is what's gonna make the chicken gizzards and the green bananas nice and juicy. This is how you could tell the green banana is done. Once you put the fork through it and it goes through smooth like that, that's enough. You could turn it off. Take the skin, it's hot, out. And dice the green banana. Now Now we have after we sliced up the green bananas, we put the chicken gizzards in together. Now we put the peppers, onions with the oil and vinegar. Mix it together. And this is how I accompany my pickled chicken gizzards and green bananas with roast pork and rice with peas. I hope you enjoyed my presentation and hopefully I inspire you to try a new dish from my Puerto Rican culture. Stay safe.
My name is Richard Keller and I am the Director of the Office of Access and Services for Individuals with Disabilities at Teachers College. We are so glad to be part of such a heartfelt and now long-standing tradition at Teachers College. This event brings us together at a very difficult time for all of us. And in honor of celebrating disability as an aspect of diversity and culture, we'd like to just make a few remarks about that now. I'm going to bring in my two colleagues, Marissa and Robbie, to do so.
Thank you, Richard. My name is Marissa Challah. I'm the Associate Director of OASID. So this year, the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA, turns 30 years old. The ADA became law in 1990. It is a civil rights law that prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities. Haben Girma, who was born deaf and blind and is a graduate of Harvard Law School and works as a civil rights attorney. She was invited to the White House for the 25th anniversary of the ADA during the Obama administration. And here she is pictured visiting Obama at the White House. And she said this about people with disabilities. We know that people with disabilities succeed not by magic, but from the opportunities afforded by America and the hard-won power of the ADA.
Hello, my name is Robbie Berry. I am the Assistant Director at OASID. Just recently, Dr. Kirk Adams, the President and CEO of the American Foundation for the Blind, interviewed Haben. Here is a photo of her being interviewed on Zoom with an interpreter on the bottom right of the screen and captions on the bottom center that say, "If you don't have direct access to written text." She was asked about her thoughts on the importance of the ADA. She said, "The ADA helped move our culture forward. There were laws before that, but the ADA's passage in 1990 further drove home the message that it is not right to have separate services and deny access to disabled students. Disabled students should have full access."
Disability as a culture started back in the 1960s when the disability rights movement began. People with disabilities started to object to the common stereotypes. They started to see that they shared similar backgrounds and stories with other people who had different disabilities. What they share was based on the way they were treated in society and the barriers they faced, and they collectively recognized their need for change.
The ADA has changed the face of American society in numerous concrete ways, enhancing the independence, full participation, inclusion, and equality of opportunities for Americans with disabilities. It has bolstered the support systems for individuals with disability and added to their collective culture.
I wanted to just thank you all for joining us, and hopefully we'll be able to see you all next year for the same event in person.
Thank you for attending our 12th annual Teachers College Community Cook-Off. This event is a staple of our TC community, where we come together as one to enjoy a friendly competition, food, celebrate our community chefs, and most importantly, we celebrate the diversity of our community. We're especially excited to continue to engage with you in this virtual platform, to embrace our diversity, family, cultural, and community values. It is important to recognize that despite our social distance, we're reminded of the values that keep us together. Thank you for joining us and for supporting this event for the past 12 years. You are all the glue that keeps our community together.
We are especially grateful to all of our participants and their friends and family who helped them create these lovely videos we just saw. Thank you to our students, alumni, faculty, and staff chefs. You all welcomed us into your kitchens virtually, and you have brought much needed joy to our community. Thank you.
The TC Community Cook-Off was truly a labor of love, and it took our entire community to pull this event together. We are thankful to our colleagues in college events and external affairs who were instrumental in the delivery of this virtual cook-off. A special thank you goes to Wachu Yin, Trishma Nicholas, Kara Lax, Heather Donahue, Jim Gardner, Matthew Vincent. Thank you.
It's joyful to continue to offer this event to our community and to see it grow and evolve through the years. I would like to also take a moment to thank our president, Thomas Bailey, for supporting the continuation of this event and for always being a champion of community building and diversity at the college. We hope to continue this event for many years to come. I also want to thank my ODCA team for all their efforts to bring this to fruition. If you are inspired by what you have seen on film today, we encourage you to participate next year. To our wonderful team of chefs, our office will be in touch with you over the next few days to ship you your 2020 TC Community Cook-Off memorabilia. Thank you, and until next year.